What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. It is my favorite time of year. We are ready to do our first syrup boil. So this is going to be a pretty small one. We had a pretty decent run this week in terms of while it was running. This is the sap that I have collected from 3 days this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday. We had like a snow/ice storm, and it's only 11 degrees right now, so everything's froze back up solid for the weekend. But we probably have about 25 gallons of sap. Did not run it through the reverse osmosis or anything, knowing that it was going to freeze back up this weekend. We're only going to have a short run again next week, and then we're going to freeze again, it's looking like. So may have jumped the gun a little bit with my tapping, but we're going to get it in where we can. So did not run the reverse osmosis at all because I didn't want to have to go through doing all of the filter flushes and everything that go along with that. But we are going to run this 25-ish gallons today, and along with that, we have a few bottles of last year's syrup that I'm going to incorporate into it. We never got rid of this last year because it was the last run that we did, the last few bottles that we bottled, and we weren't happy with the way it looked. It had lots of sugar sand and lots of niter in it, and had designs of getting back to it at some point and filtering it during the year, for the last year, but never did. It was back here in the barn, kind of out of sight, out of mind. So we're going to incorporate that back into this batch, and hopefully between that and the 25 gallons by itself probably isn't quite enough to run and finish on this big pan. We'll just have to see how it goes. So this is all straight out of the woods. So still has a little bit of dirt and debris that you get while you're collecting. So that's why I'm going ahead and just running it through one of these little pre-filters. I don't think we'll even have enough to keep any up here in the warming pan. We'll have to see, but this is the only thing that gave me enough height and depth to be able to strain it. Well, 30 minutes in, and we got the boil ripping. Don't quite have everything into the boiling pan, into the pan or the pre-warmer. Got one more bucket, so it looks like probably going to be about like 26, 27 gallons. So pretty close to that 25 estimate I had in my head. So now it's just kind of sit around. I'm going to piddle around, get a couple of things done, and keep the fire going. And maybe 3 or 4 hours from now, we'll have it boiled down to, I guess it'll probably be right about a couple of quarts. I just realized I did not hydrometer test any of it, so I don't know where the sugar percentage was, but we'll just see what we end up with at the end. You know, something that we do, I do, and my dad does to help all year long is we save all of our wood scraps from like every single project that we do to use here in the boiler. You know, probably don't get the greatest BTU value compared to like using some real hardwood or something. And I do realize that it's probably not as good for my chimney pipe and everything, but it's all free. Well, it's not free, but it's scrap that probably would have just gotten thrown away. And we burn firewood inside the house, so every bit of it that we don't burn back here is something that we get to burn and heat in the house with. So, you say all year long. Here, I'll even show you. You know, we got a stockpile out here. And then I even have, you know, we got all this stuff here. And then down in my little firewood shed where I keep my good wood, my good firewood that I burn in the house, we keep, I don't know, there's probably 10 or 15 at least big size Rubbermaid totes that are full of, you know, 2x4 cutoffs, little scrap pieces from woodworking projects. We built that fence out front, so there's all sorts of little like 6-inch pieces of 4x4s that got cut off, little scrap ends of 2x6s. we save all that and we burn all of that inside of our boiler. So we don't have to burn the good wood, as much good wood that we put a bunch of effort into that keeps us warm in the house. Just a little thing we do. We're getting pretty far into it, getting readings in the high 2 teens, so that tells us we're getting close. We'll probably get the hydrometer out soon, see where we're at on the Brix scale. We did put all of that syrup that I had left, all of these bottles here, we did put those back in, so they're in the pre-warmer right now. So that was about right at a gallon of full-blown syrup we added back to it. So we're getting pretty close. And when we do our draw off today, we are going to bust out the new secret weapon. We ordered a vacuum filter. So we'll do a little bit showing you guys how it works. I'm not going to go super in depth with it. I'm going to do a whole separate video just on the vacuum filter. But between this and we're going to try to use a little bit of the diatomaceous earth as filter medium, and between those two things we are hoping that we should get completely crystal clear syrup, and it should be just shiny and lustrous and look even better than the good batches of syrup that come out, you know, no sugar sand, no niter. It should help with all of that completely. None of that should be able to make it through because the diatomaceous earth grabs onto anything, any of the minerals that are left in the syrup, and helps for it to get captured inside of the filter medium. So when the syrup gets to that point, when the sap gets to that point and we do the draw off, we will show you guys how it works on the new vacuum filter. So off camera, we did our little diatomaceous earth slurry in the bottom that went on top of the filter, and now we're just drawing off into the filter pump. And as soon as we turn it on, you'll see how fast this is going to make this process go. It really is just going to fly, suck it straight through the filter, and we'll be cooking. You know, it doesn't matter how many times I've done this now. I don't know, gotta be 20, 25 times at least that I have done batches of maple syrup. It gets hectic every single time when it comes down to getting the syrup off of the pan. Stress levels go up. Just, I don't know. At this point, I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it. I know what I'm watching for, but still, just every single time, the stress level goes up a little bit because I don't want to ruin it. I don't want it to get past, syrup, and all of a sudden I've got a whole evaporator tray full of maple candy. So just working on getting the fire back going. This is a couple hours later now, getting the fire back going, running some water through, going to do my little rinse, sanitation that I always do after every boil, get everything all cleaned out and ready for next time. I made mention of it before. I will go back and we'll do a completely separate video on the new vacuum pump. There's enough information about it that I think it does deserve its own video, so I can talk about where I got it, why I got it, how it works, all that sort of stuff, just to give it, there's a lot of cool info about it, and I just want to make sure that I give it justice without making, a syrup boil video, a 20-minute video. But as you can see, it's a little glary from the light, but in person, this is beautiful. What they say with the diatomaceous earth, what that does, DE is what they call it for short, what that does is it polishes your syrup, and it really makes it crystal clear, and it makes it shine. And it's not showing up great on the video, it doesn't seem like, but in person, this looks perfect. There is not a drop of sugar sand, not a drop, nothing floating in it. This is the best looking syrup that I have ever produced, I would say. We finished with 12, 18, 19 and a half bottles. So it was a little bit over 1.5 gallons of syrup finished, which makes sense. I put about 1 gallon of syrup back in, of the real syrup back in, already finished. And then about that 25, 26-ish gallons should have been a little bit over another 0.5 gallon. So we were right there in that ballpark where we thought we'd be. The syrup videos are just getting started, guys, so I hope you tune in. I don't know, it will either be the video before this one or the video after this one. We finished up the walk-in cooler. It is now working the way that we intended it to work. Finally got that finished up. We installed a CoolBot on the air conditioner in there, so there is a separate video about that. If you go and look, it will either be the video before this or the video after this. If it's already uploaded by the time I upload this one, I'll leave a link, but if not, it'll probably be the one suggested after this video. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. First boil of the year. We love syrup season. It's probably our favorite time of year here around the farm, so we hope you guys enjoy it too. If you did, think about hitting that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until next time, y'all, we will see you.